Welcome back to Square Off. Most of the news out of the Maricopa County Board over the last several years has been about its relentless efforts to defend our elections. Well, elections are still in the news, but the new county board chair made a big splash last week by talking about hockey. Supervisor Tom Galvin laid out an ambitious agenda for one of the largest counties in the country. His goal to bring back an NHL hockey team was the buzziest item by far. Tom Galvin, welcome to Sunday Square.
Good morning, Bram. Thank you for having me.
You're entering your 5th year on the county board?
4th year.
4th year. You might be new to a lot of folks who are watching right now. Give us just the thumbnail. Who's Tom Galvin?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a transplant, moved here 18 years ago, have absolutely loved living in the Valley, and it's provided so much to me and my wife. We're raising our young son here. I represent District 2, a district of about 950,000 people, nearly 1 million folks, a third larger than a congressional district. But I serve with 4 other people. But at Maricopa County, we're the 4th largest county in the country. And about 4.5 million people live here in the Valley, which is larger than 25 states. And so I have felt it's just been a great honor to be a public servant and to do what I can to help our community.
And you want to start by bringing back hockey. You rekindled the hopes of Valley hockey fans who were, when you revealed last week that you've been talking to Gary Bettman, the NHL Commissioner, about bringing back a team, not the one that took a powder for Utah, but bringing back a hockey team. What did you tell Bettman, and what did Bettman tell you in response?
Sure. First, I do want to say I started by talking about economic development, water, transportation, housing, public safety, and elections. And hockey is one component of that under our economic development umbrella.
So true, so true. I get it. And yet, hockey is the item that just exploded.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And for me, the Valley is such a great place for sports, and we have the best sports fans here in the Valley. We host a Super Bowl, the Final Four, NASCAR. But also, I saw that politicians, I think, let people down over the last few years over how they handle the Coyote situation. I also think the Coyotes ownership at the time did a really terrible job. But from what I saw from my perspective, there was just a shambolic story regarding that state land auction that fell apart 2 days beforehand. And I felt there was a vacuum of leadership. So I cold called the NHL Commissioner myself. And I said, I have some ideas. Here's how I think we can bring professional hockey back to the Valley, which I think was a black eye for our community on how it went down. And he was really appreciative. And the way to do it is I'm going to be convening political, business, and sports experts to work together and to do it the right way.
Now, to be clear, this is a long-term project. People should not be expecting a team to show up here within a year.
Right. This is a long,
maybe 5 years?
Exactly. This is a long-term project. We're not guaranteeing anything, but we're making an effort, and we're doing it the right way. And the way you do it is you don't put the cart in front of the horse. You get people who know how to do this. There's 2 mandates I'm going to be giving to this committee. One, find an owner. And frankly, there's not many out there, right? They have to
find a billionaire.
You have to find a billionaire. And number 2, find the location for a world-class facility, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, and Bettman, what kind of encouragement did he give you?
Bettman was totally encouraging, and I told him... He was totally encouraging, and he has told the media as such, and he really appreciates that I reached out to him and told him how I thought this is important from an economic development perspective for our community.
These deals typically involve taxpayer subsidies. A lot of folks looked at the news and saw money leaving their wallets. Where do you stand on taxpayer subsidies?
Well, I think, you know, philosophically, as a conservative Republican, I'm not a fan of taxpayer money being used for private enterprise. But a lot of times it comes down to state policy. And a lot of folks who want to talk about these issues are going to have to address it at the state legislature. For me, it's about bringing the right ingredients for this recipe of an owner, location for a facility. All of those conversations will happen afterwards. But I believe that you should stand up for yourself and see if you can do it on your own.
Now, I have to get this out there. There was a lot of talk about economic development in your speech. You're a partner in a law firm that does a lot of land deals, a lot of land projects. How have you walled yourself off from the law firm, what it does on its own and what the county does?
So all of us at the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, we're all members of the community. We all have jobs. I'm a practicing attorney, and I was very clear when I came in on my first day in office that there would be no conflicts. And if any conflicts arisen, that I would wall myself off, I would recuse myself. And we do that frequently, all 5 of us. all have matters that sometimes conflict, but what you have to do is show integrity, and you have to be proactive about that. So on a couple of occasions, I've had to recuse myself, but it's not been an issue at all whatsoever.
Another item from the first week, elections are still on the agenda. The county board is embarking on a review of how it runs elections.
Yep.
New supervisor Debbie Lesko brought this up. She referred to it as an audit, which sends shivers down many of our spines. What's going to happen, and why is this needed?
Yeah, well, first of all, I've been a steadfast defender of our elections process in Arizona, especially Maricopa County. I think we've done a great job. Obviously, there's been some hiccups and issues over the years, which I was not satisfied with, but I'm really proud that in 2024, we ran what I'm going to call big, beautiful elections. The primary, the presidential primary, and the general election. However, taking my expertise from the business sector, every company doesn't want to rest in their laurels. They don't want to be complacent. You take an after-action report and you say, hey, let's look at what we did right and let's see where we can improve. And what I like to do is hire an independent consultant to just help us make our process better. We have a good system. We can always be better, and that's what I'm about. And when I go out and meet with voters and constituents and I tell them I want to improve an already good election system, everyone likes that.
There's still a constituency out there that doubts elections and that wants to keep those doubts alive. Does a review like this help keep it alive?
Yeah, well, frankly, I found a lot of people that like to sow misdoubt about elections. They're grifters. They just want to make money off of it, or they just do it for political reasons. There are a few people left out there that legitimately doubt how our elections system is run, but if they're going to see that the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors is going to take a top-down, bottom review and show areas where I think it can be for improvement, I think those people in good faith will appreciate that.
All right. I'm afraid I have to end it there. I was going to ask you about the your idea of ending the racial profiling. Can you say that the racial profiling case in federal court and getting them off the county's back? Give us an answer in like 30 seconds how you're going to do that.
Taxpayers have spent $300 million over the last 15 years. It has seriously affected the effectiveness of our sheriff's department. I want our deputies, our detention officers, and our dispatch operators to get all the support they can. I'm going to see what we can do to review improve the department, and if we get federal oversight out, because I think it's time, then that department can really flourish.
All right, got to end it there. Thomas Galvin, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck.
Thank you for having me.
And you can see all of our Sunday Square Off coverage on our YouTube channel. Go to 12news.com/YouTube. That's our show for this week. Thanks very much to all of our guests. Thank you so much for joining us. See you back here next weekend for another round of Sunday Square Off.